inalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed.
Forgive me, Martha. It was such a price to ask of you. Forgive me. I wanted a happy world for us. And in reaching for it, I lost you. Oh, my darling. In every picture I ever painted of the future, you were the foreground. Without you, there's no picture. There's no future.
Father? Father, you were so deep in meditation. What were you thinking?
Oh, nothing, dear. Just thinking.
There it is, Father. Do you see?
No, where? Where, Patsy?
That light. There.
Yes, there it is. There it is, it's land. It's America, Patsy.
We're home again.
So, if Colonel Hamilton's Treasury bill is reintroduced, Congress will kill it again.
Mr. Madison, I am tempted to seize your Congress by their separate heads and knock them into a collective jelly.
And what would that achieve?
Unity of some kind.
Yes, but what kind? That's the question.
You cry speculation. That's not the issue at all, and you know it.
I know nothing of the sort. On the contrary.
You deny your South is afraid the North will profit a little more.
And will they? Will they?
That's beside the point. Yes, they will. What of it? The crying need of this infant government now is confidence in its financial policy.
Exactly, and is this the way to achieve it?
Question. Can the wise and learned congressman from Virginia propose any better plan?
Colonel Hamilton, personalities are not the issue.
Gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Madison, for your views. Of course, it is not in this office to interfere with the people's legislature.
Thank you.
But, Mr. President,
Congress must decide the merits of your bill.
Good day, Mr. President. Colonel Hamilton.
my congratulations. You've won a noble victory over unity and honor. I warn you, sir.
Slow, Colonel. Slow but sure. That must be our political maxim.
I'm afraid I may have to resign.
Now, my boy.
I can't build a treasury out of thin air.
I know. Check these figures for me. We'll go over these this evening. Mrs. Washington is expecting you, and your lady.
Mrs. Hamilton is confined to bed.
She is. Anything wrong?
On the contrary.
Another?
On the way.
My God, you little men. My congratulations.
Thank you. I'll check these. Is there anything else?
No. Yes.
His Excellency's ambassador to the court of France, Mr. Jefferson.
Oh, good. Show him in.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jefferson in New York?
He arrived last night. I thought you knew, Alec.
Providence is with us. Mr. Jefferson could easily persuade the South to vote for my treasury bill. Now, I have never met him, so if you would speak to him...
I can't do that.
Why not?
Again? Must we go over the ground again and again
Well,
and
it
again?
seems nothing but a catastrophe will make any impression. But I am optimistic. I expect very shortly we shall see a colossal catastrophe.
General Washington.
Mr. Jefferson, welcome home. Let me look at you. 6 years.
6? A long time.
Yes. How was Patsy's wedding?
Beautiful. For Mrs. Washington,
Oh,
for you.
you shouldn't have.
Jefferson, mon vieux!
Billy Humphreys, how are you?
Assez bien. Notre charmante Paris, comment va-t-elle?
Changed. Everybody in Paris now talks politics. You know how the French love to talk.
Et la chère reine et le roi, how are they?
Oh, the king hunts one half the day, drinks the other half.
Oh la la.
The queen weeps, but sins on.
Méchante.
My God, lily bulbs.
The loveliest species I've ever seen. A magnificent flower. Found them in the south of France.
And rice seed.
From Italy.
Beautiful grain. Oh, sit down, my boy, sit down.
Thank you.
And you found Virginia?
Yes.
Crops?
Rye is splendid. Wheat's good. It's going to be an excellent harvest.
So I hear.
Of course, my own lands are almost ruined.
These damnable overseers, ignorant, careless.
Mine complained that the rabbits always ate the outside row of cabbages.
Ha, what did you tell him?
I told him to remove the outside row.
Good.
Your Excellency, I believe you have an appointment.
All right, Humphreys, later.
Monsieur l'ambassadeur, Excellency.
Tell me, do little boys tease him in the street?
The Republic.
The Republic.
Recognize it? Excellent Madeira.
Patsy and I shopped all over Paris for it.
Mr. Adams was most pleased with the wines you sent him. But his daughter was disappointed in the purchase you made for her.
Mrs. Smith? Now, what did I... Paris corset. It didn't fit.
No.
Oh, what a tragedy.
It was very pretty, too. Mrs. Adams showed it to Mrs. Washington. Pink ribbons. The ladies were heartbroken.
Well, they mustn't despair. Tell Mrs. Smith to set it aside for a while. There are ebbs in this world as well as flows.
So, Lafayette is trying to establish a republic in France.
Slowly, by constitutional reform. In my rooms in Paris, he drew up the first Bill of Rights for France. People everywhere are looking to our experiment. There's a great danger there, though. I toured France incognito, visited peasants in their hovels. The poverty and the ignorance, appalling. If they should ever lose Lafayette...
Anarchy.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. President, you look tired.
I'm unaccustomed to this indoor life. I need activity.
Long walks, the best exercise.
It's not permitted. The dignity of the state forbids it, so I'm told. When we lived on Cherry Street, I couldn't go down the block without a parade. But I can tell you, since we moved here to Broadway, it's a godsend. Now, occasionally, I can steal out that door to the backyard, across the meadow, and down to the river.
What do you do down at the river?
Go fishing. Yes, I've had 2 attacks of illness this year. I doubt if I'd survive a third. Oh, well, tomorrow or 20 years from now, we're all in the hands of a good providence. Try one of these biscuits.
Thank you.
I'm organizing the ministers of the various departments into a cabinet to advise me. As our Secretary of State, you're...
Mr. President. You remember you did give me the option of refusal.
You can't mean to refuse.
I must.
Why?
I've been away so long. I know nothing of the duties of this office. I may bungle it.
We're all groping. This will be a government of accommodation.
I'm sorry. I want you to understand. Whatever spice of political ambition I may have had as a young man has long since evaporated. I think I've done my share. Now I want to go home. I must finish my house. 20 years it's waited. Patsy and her husband have come to stay with me at Monticello, and to be honest with you, I've lived with my children so long, I've come to depend on their affection and comfort.
Tom, have you ever thought of marrying again?